guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and if you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. If you have not already done so, please consider subscribing and accepting the notification bell, as I do load videos on a rather consistent basis throughout the week. Now, as you can see, I will be working on my February budget. Now, if you're looking for a super comprehensive budget video that shows income and line items of a variety of different bills, then this will not be the budget with me for you, but I can definitely recommend some fabulous ladies that I'm currently watching down in the description box below, and that includes Denise from Denise Dives In, Dee from Budgeting D, and Cassandra from The Average Life. And I feature them only because they load videos on a rather consistent basis, and because of that, they're really good teachers and mentors to show you, if you are new to this, which I am, this is the only second one I've ever done, they will give you full transparency on everything going in and going out. I don't feel comfortable showing income and all of the different line items of my variety of bills, which are extensive, so this will be more of an overview. So if this is something that you're interested in, then stay tuned. All right, so when I did my budget last month, I had actually, I don't know if it was arrogance or naivete, but I just assumed, yeah, I can just do this once a month and I'm good to go. And yeah, no, that was a train wreck. So this was my budget for January 2019. Again, I'm not showing you all the different credit card bills that I have, which is over 30,000 in credit card bills, and I have 6 figures worth of student loans. So yeah, that's not shown here because I pay all of that first, and then basically I'm just trying to figure out how to live on the difference. And so for January, I started with $476.13. This is what I anticipated zeroing that out with, and then also I had some savings. Now, originally on this side of the paper, I had the Dave Ramsey steps, as well as the version of it that I would be adhering to, and then I quickly realized that that was just wasted space, because I actually could look at my budget and then recap, and I actually should be recapping, or at least reviewing, every time I get paid, so that I have a better picture going forward. So for February, that's what I'm going to do. And I was late to the game here, and I'm late to the game for February, but going forward, it was just a difficult learning experience, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So recapping, maybe I should keep this. Where I ran into problems was in my spending, and that was kind of twofold. So as I mentioned in my first Budget With Me video, and I'll also link that below, from January 20th of 2019 through February 20th of 2019, I had allotted myself $151 in spending, and that could have been anything: personal care, personal coffees, lunches, takeout, whatever. Just spending. I didn't want to have to track the different types, because I figured, you got a pool of money, just spend until you have nothing left. Well, it is the 10th of February, and I have $26 left to technically get me to the 20th. And although I'm pretty sure I could do it, I don't know how reasonable that is. And that's really what made me think about, okay, I'm probably going to have to do this, if not on a bi-monthly basis, then maybe even a weekly basis. Now, the page that was here, I didn't want to throw away, so I actually ripped it out. I know, sacrilege. And then I just sort of did I hope you can see that, a tip-in into the back, because this is the Dave Ramsey method. Now, I've never read his book or watched his show or done anything, but I've seen people who have, and so I know this is what he advocates, and I think it makes sense. So I have written my goals and priorities, but in a little different methodology, because there's just certain things I'd prefer to do before other things. And again, this can change if I need to, but this is what I'm focused on. So if I need to, I can keep the spread open so that I can see everything, and then that way I don't lose this page, nor do I have to recreate it every month. Now, where the spending came, I don't want to say it's problematic, and it seems kind of contradictory, but I had $151, and this is my wallet. I currently have $26. Now, because of the experience of January, I actually created these little wallet dividers, and I was completely inspired by D from Budgeting D. I had only ever seen cash envelopes or like little binders of cash, but I'd never seen anything that can go in the wallet that wasn't an envelope, because that just seemed like a lot of hassle. So these are the 3 categories I will be looking at least for the next pay period, to see if this is enough. Do I need more? Is this too specific? Is it not specific enough? Because again, I'm just trying to figure all this out. So that goes in this front section. Now, it does have a lot of spaces for credit cards. I keep my Sam's Club and my Discover card here, just for the case of emergency. This is my business card, and this is the card that's tied to my bank account. And then all of these, that's just my work ID, as well as some store cards. Now, in the back here, this is where I'm actually keeping my $5 challenge money. And that's where it got interesting for me. So, for January, from when I started on the 20th through the 31st of January, I got $40 in 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So $40 in 5s. Now, when I started, I had already had $30. So of that $151, $10 was in the $5 challenge that I'm doing, and I'll link that video below. Now, so far for February, I have $45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So $55 of my spending money has gone to this challenge. So I didn't spend it all, but I mean, I might as well have, just because I can't use it. It's a savings. So this I will put away with my other savings. And so if I break that down, my spending money was $151, $10 went towards the challenge, $45 went toward the February challenge, because that one was the remainder of January, and then $70 I call transactions, because I don't actually know where they went. I had a lot of doctor's appointments. I had some things that I had to buy from Longs/CVS. We call them Longs, but I think you guys call them CVS. Because I had a lot of doctor's appointments, I had co-pays and things, but the majority of that I put on a credit card, just because I wasn't expecting it and I didn't have the money. I think I spent at least $100 in co-pays, because there were some weeks that I was going twice, plus I had to pick up prescriptions, and it was unexpected. So that's definitely something I have to be mindful going forward. So this, I definitely will probably need to start tracking more so where the money went. Now, I do know emotionally that probably went to mostly coffee and food and just junk, because for a week prior to, no, let me backtrack. So I was on bed rest from the second to last week of January through Wednesday the 31st, and I was able to go back to work, no, Wednesday the 30th, and I was able to go back on the 31st. Now that entire time, except when I was going to the hospital, I didn't go anywhere else. So when I got back to work on the 31st and then all the way through last week, I was sort of in hyper spend mode, as much as you can if you're only spending $70. But I was getting coffees that I normally don't do, and I picked up lunch a couple of times, and I mean, I knew that I only had a certain amount of money, and then some of the unexpected $5 bills came into play, but it was just more of it was a famine portion, because I was home and I never really left unless I was going to the doctor's, and then it went into a feasting portion. So I really do need to be more mindful of that. So that was the transactions to end in January, and I know that going forward I should do this closer to maybe a couple of days within the end of the month versus 10 days in. But yeah, I really assumed I could just do this once per month, super easy, no big deal, and that would be fine. And that clearly is not going to work. So for February, I've already started setting up my budget. Now it is decorated, but very minimally, and I am just using the 2 different Erin Condren sticker books that I have, just because it fits perfectly. And so what I'll be doing is carrying forward some of the information. I'm hoping you can see that. And I'm going to tell you right now, this coil thing is driving me nuts, because if this were in my happy planner, and going forward this might have to be, or when I'm done with this year, then I would just take all of these pages out. And I saw a video recently, and I think it was Life with Coach Key or Coach Key or something like that, where she does budget videos. She is debt-free, and she says that she does a zero-based budget, sort of. So for her, she would like to have a minimum, or her zero, and I'm not explaining this correctly, but her zero is $4,000. So in her account, whatever account she was referencing, she always wants to have $4,000. So anything up and beyond that is what she budgets. And to me, that's the same idea as having an account cushion. In my regular checking account, I never want it to go below 100. So that would be my reset to zero. So $100 in the bank means zero, because I really don't want to use that. I really like that idea, and I'll link the video below where she talks about that, because I think it's a really interesting concept. Because I know for some of the other budget people that I watch, some prefer, like I do, to have a cushion just because you never know, and some truly zero out their accounts so that every dollar has a purpose. But if we're going to say that, then the $100 purpose is for the cushion, if just to help with my anxiety levels. So savings, no. Now I probably will need to look at, and I talked about this in the original video, but I probably will need to do sinking funds. But the paycheck that I get on the 5th is actually the one where I pay all of my bills, because I don't pay them when they're due. I pay them when I get paid. And fortunately for me, all of the due dates are either on payday or afterwards, so I'm never late with my bills. And that way I don't have to keep track of specific dates. I get paid, I pay them all. And I pay the minimums. So, and this, it might get sketchy here because I'm thinking that's where I should put I should put cash envelopes or sinking funds on a separate page, but again, I'm still trying to figure this out. So spending will incorporate all of those three, and then savings. And when I get paid on the 20th, I'll see how this goes, and then I will also look into doing sinking funds and more of a cash envelope style going into March, because again, we're nearly halfway through the month. It's a short month as it is. Just figuring things out. So I started so in my account there is $100.13. So we're going to not add anything, so that we should have 113. Debt payoff, because I was on bed rest for last month, that money is actually sitting in the account. I'm not adding anything to that, because any of the snowball that I do does come from the second paycheck. So for right now, I actually don't know what the plus or minus is going to be. So I'm just going to leave these two. And again, I think that's where the budget and actual comes in. I don't know. I hate being all over the place, but I mean, if you're looking for someone who doesn't know what she's doing and just really trying to get better, you're in the right spot. Spending, we're starting with $26. And after all of my bills were paid, I have $107.92. Now for right now, I'm actually going to stick that into my spending category because this amount is so small. Now it's the 10th, I need to get to the 20th. That's only 10 days, but I did want to pick up a few things for Valentine's for my family. So yeah, that's where that's going to go. If I can have some monies leftovers on the 20th, that would be great. So that is so of that $133.92. And that seems like a lot for 10 days. Yeah, we're just gonna figure it out. All right, so what I originally was gonna do is just dump everything in spending and then mark it out here, but that's not going to work from a line item perspective. So I will put $14 in here, and that will give me 40, and that will just be all-purpose spending. So 107.92 minus 14 equals 93.92. So for personal, we're starting at 0. We're going to add 20. And for eating out, we're starting at 0. $23.92. Office, we're starting at 0. And for the office, in my mind, that means either supplies that I'm purchasing for the office, because we have supplies, but I like cute things, or like coffee cream, or just things that I have specifically in the office. That is different from eating out, or if I buy pastries for the office. I mean, this encompasses something specific to me having that job. That was a really bad explanation, but that's what that means. So we'll do $20 there, and that would leave $30. So for savings, this is so annoying. The savings, what that means, it comes out of my bank account, because I do have one that's auto-deposited into a Discover savings account that I have online, and then my $5 challenge I will work on someplace else, but I also want to take money out of my out of my checking to put towards savings. So I started with $50 last month, and that money is actually still in that account. So $50. I'm going to add 30. And if I'm thinking about Denise and Dee and Cassandra, I actually did this wrong. So I should have done maybe starting and ending as my monthly overview, and then broke that down into weekly budgets. So when I do this on, or for the 20th paycheck, I might actually convert to that, because I'm thinking that's where the math is going to come out wonky, because I can't actually do an ending total right now. And I think that's kind of the point. I'm sorry, guys. 14 plus 20 plus 23.92 plus 20 plus 30. So at least that comes out. And I won't write anything there just in case I add more things. So yeah. So for down here, I did end January 31st with $125.11. $25 every paycheck goes towards this account. In December, when I had opened the account, I had opened it with $75, and I had gotten 11 cents in interest. So the last deposit in January was the first deposit in February, so February 5th, they put in $25. In January, I had earned 19 cents in interest, and so in that account, as of today, I have $150.30. So for my $5 challenge, I started out with $40, and that's January figures. I won't add in anything because it's still February, so I don't know what that is. And then the ending I will do at month end. And then for savings, we have 50 bringing forward, and I will be moving $30 into that account, or $30 into that bucket, because I actually still have the cash, and then I'll see where I am at the 20th paycheck. Oh, guys, this was a hot mess, and I am so sorry for that. I'm really hoping I get my act together for the next one. And it's really just, it's sort of like my happy planner journey. You watch a lot of videos, you think you know what you're doing, you think you got it all figured out, and then you turn on the camera and you realize, no, I needed to do things differently, or I need to figure things out differently. So yeah, this is a learning process for me. So I apologize. I will see you guys for my February recap budget. And I don't know if I'll be doing this once a week, or maybe it'll be easier if I do. I don't know. Leave a comment below if you think it's easier to recap on a weekly basis, if you think it's easier to recap every time you get paid. Yeah, because I'm a bit of a loss right now. But as always, aloha.